Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. So, I feel some type of way. Not gonna lie, I feel some type of way, and I kind of want to talk about this topic. I was gonna tread lightly with this, but I'm not, because I feel like somebody has to tell the truth, and I don't think a lot of commentators on YouTube are going to tell the truth. And if they do, they add their own narrative to it. Even people that I've seen talk about it and go in the right direction with it, kind of like make it into specifically a race thing about white people and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, that's not really the angle. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to talk about this, and I'm probably going to say a bunch of things people don't like, and that's fine. But I'm here to give you the truth. I'm not here to, like, fucking kiss anyone's ass or, make somebody feel better or any of this other shit. I'm here to tell you, like, from just a regular person's perspective, okay? Fuck being, I'm an Indiana Pacers fan, but, I mean, Caitlin Clark, it helps that she got drafted to the Indiana Fever, but I'm more of, like, a Caitlin Clark fan more than I am ever an Indiana Fever fan, if I'm being honest with you. I didn't even know the Indiana Fever had the #1 pick, to be honest with you, and then I found out, like, a couple days before that they were the ones that were going to draft her. But I want to talk about this whole debacle with the Chennedy Carter thing and all this other stuff, because I feel like there's a lot of bullshit going on with this, and I just want to talk about it. So let's talk about Chennedy Carter. Okay, Chennedy Carter gave a bit of a hip check to Caitlin Clark on an inbounds play the other day. By the way, the Chicago Sky still lost the fucking game by 1 point, even after all this bullshit. But Chennedy Carter is not somebody who should be worrying about Caitlin Clark. Okay, Chennedy Carter is somebody who should be worrying about Chennedy Carter. She was drafted in 2020. She's been in the WNBA for 4 years, and this is her third fucking team. Mostly because she cannot control herself. She cannot control her issues. She threatened to fight a fucking teammate, and that's why she got kicked off one of her teams. Okay? She has anger issues. She can't fucking control herself, and for whatever reason, okay, she picked Caitlin Clark to fuck with. Okay? Now, there's a huge debate going on about this, how none of Caitlin Clark's teammates stepped up to help her and all this other stuff, and I'm sure that's going to change as the season goes on. But the fact of the matter is, okay, Chennedy Carter needs to just sit down, shut the fuck up, and be seen and not heard. Okay? It's okay. Like, you can go out on the court, do what you do, but you need to sit down, shut the fuck up, and be seen and not heard. Because she's been on 3 teams in 4 years, mostly because of attitude problems. And then also, she comes out after the game, and she's saying all this stuff. She's like, oh, well, like, she made a comment about Caitlin Clark saying that, oh, well, all she's really good at is shooting threes, even though she's beating you in every single statistical fucking category except for games played. And I think to myself, this just sounds like a fucking hater narrative. Like, this just sounds haterish as fuck. And then on top of it, once Chennedy Carter hip-checked Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese is like looking like a fucking cheerleader on the sidelines doing this bullshit. Oh yeah, thanks so much, buddy. And then Angel Reese comes out after the game. He's like, oh, I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And, people need to, like, basically just bitching and complaining that she's not getting a part of the spotlight like Caitlin Clark is. And not for nothing, but if people were really tuning in to watch you wouldn't have to say these things. Caitlin Clark hasn't said a fucking thing. Okay? Caitlin Clark has a $28 million shoe deal. She got A'ja Wilson a deal with Gatorade, all because Jamel Hill went ahead and bitched about it on Twitter. Okay, Caitlin Clark came to the NBA and they're like, okay, A'ja Wilson, yeah, she can have a Gatorade deal. I mean, they're and like, let's not get it fucked up. Okay, the reason the WNBA is flying charter now is because of Caitlin Clark. Okay, don't even Austin Rivers said that. Okay, Austin Rivers went on the Pat McAfee show and said the same fucking thing I'm telling you now, that the reason they're flying charter is because of Caitlin Clark. Okay, don't get it fucked up. That's the reason you're flying charter. So I just think to myself, right, this was never a race issue. Like, anybody, like, as far as men, the men watching this sport now, the men who are watching because of Caitlin Clark could give a fuck if she was purple. Okay, like, I'm just gonna call it what it is. As somebody myself who also started watching, like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but, like, the whole reason I started watching Caitlin Clark is because I saw that she was on track to break Pete Maravich's college scoring record, which, by the way, I don't think people understand how fucking ridiculous that record truly is. And, like, for whatever reason, it, like, people, like, I guess kind of downplay it or don't give it the type of credit it actually deserves. But Caitlin Clark is the leading scorer in both men's and women's college basketball. Okay, Caitlin Clark went out there and did something that most people thought was never going to be like possible. Like, that was a record that nobody thought would ever be broken. I think I have a video from when I first started making YouTube videos. I think I made a video saying like 10 records or like this college scoring record will never be broken or like something like that. I made a video to that effect, and I specifically talked about how Pete Maravich's college scoring record would never be beaten, or at least I've commented on it before. And I was like, the average men's college basketball player would have to make like anywhere like from 8 to 10 3-pointers a game to beat it. And Caitlin Clark fucking did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you understand, like, just how absolutely batshit fucking crazy that is. So, the men that are watching the WNBA right now are in no way, shape, or form watching it just because of Angel Reese. Or, I would argue, maybe 5% of people are watching it because of Angel Reese. Okay? Now, Angel Reese did add to it. I'm not gonna lie, Angel Reese added to it where she was like, oh, you can't see me and all this other shit, and then got dropped the fuck off in the national championship game when Caitlin Clark gave her 41 and 12. 41 and 12. And you got the audacity to come out here and say bullshit like, oh, well, all she's really good at is, you know, shooting threes. Oh, she's not that fucking good. Bro, she, like, and then Angel Reese comes out and makes it seem like, oh, well, I'm the reason people are watching too. You know, give me some endorsements. No, they're not. Yeah, I would argue you're part of it. I can't deny that. You're part of it, but no, like, unless you're playing Caitlin Clark, I don't think anybody's watching Chicago Sky games. Like, I hate to say that, but I don't think anybody's watching Chicago Sky games. Like, I would argue that the Sabrina Isakanu, if I said that correctly, the Sabrina Isakanu Caitlin Clark rivalry between the New York Liberty and Indiana Fever will be a bigger rivalry than the Caitlin Clark Angel Reese rivalry in the next 2 to 3 years. And the reason I say that is because in the NBA, you have the Knicks versus the Pacers, which has been a rivalry since the fucking 90s, and now you have two similar players on two historically rivaled franchises in the NBA playing in the WNBA. I would argue that's going to be the WNBA's first true rivalry. As far as like if you're looking for like your, I don't know, Michael Jordan versus Isaiah Thomas or your Magic versus Bird, that's what it's going to be. It's not going to be Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark. Okay? It's going to be Sabrina versus Caitlin. That's what people are going to fucking tune in for. Okay? Like, I get it. Like, I can't say Angel Reese played no role in this. Like, I can't say that. But to act like you are playing a bigger role in it than you actually are just screams like, give me attention. You know what I'm saying? And on top of this whole thing, there's a lot of people turning it into a race issue. There's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, well, you know, like, and like the LGBTQ community, of course, has to give their fucking input on, oh, well, she's a straight white woman and she's doing this. Bro, the men that are watching women's, like, professional basketball, the WNBA, could give a fuck if Caitlin Clark were fucking purple or green. They just know that she can pull up from 30 feet and they want to see her drop someone the fuck off. Okay, that's why men are watching it. That is the whole reason people are watching it. I hate to say it, but from a skill set standpoint, nobody gives a fuck about what Angel Reese is doing. Other than people that are Chicago Sky fans and people who just simply can't get over themselves or get over the fact that Caitlin Clark is a better basketball player than Angel Reese. That's it. That's what it is. It is people who, like, and most of it are people who are either LGBTQ or they have Black Lives Matter in their fucking Twitter bio and can't stand the fact that she's white and is now the face of the fucking WNBA. Like, that's what it is. Like, I hate to say that, but that's what it is. Like, if you look at the arguments on TikTok, on Threads, on Twitter, All it is people crying about the idea that she's basically white. And I just think to myself, like, it sucks because I think to myself, this is the type of shit that makes people not want to be interested in things. This is why people aren't, like, socially active. Like, I hate to say that, but this is why more people aren't socially active, because you see the whole Israel-Palestine shit, and now you see the whole Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark shit, and it goes from something that shouldn't be a race issue, that people turn it into a race issue. That's what it is. That's what it becomes. Okay, that's why people sit down and shut the fuck up on these issues, because nobody wants to be known as the person who had the wrong fucking opinion at the wrong point in time. And we live in a time now where everybody wants to cancel everybody and all this other bullshit. Okay, and I hate to say it, but most of the people on Twitter and TikTok and Threads and Facebook and all those other people who are upset that Caitlin Clark is doing what she's doing is people of color who are just pissed that Angel Reese is not getting the same type of exposure as Caitlin Clark. And unfortunately, I hate to say this, but Angel Reese has done a lot of shit talking and has not backed it up. Okay? She ran her mouth in the national championship game, got dropped the fuck off. Had an okay game, but didn't shoot that great from the field, okay? She lost, got sent home by Caitlin Clark. Then, okay, you play her for the first time in the WNBA. Your bestie fucking hip checks her. You're on the sideline fucking cheering and like you just won the fucking Super Bowl, and you still lost by 1 point to the white girl who can only shoot threes. So, and the Indiana Fever, okay, all due respect, are the worst team in basketball. In women's basketball. They wouldn't have gotten Caitlin Clark if they weren't one of the worst teams in the WNBA. So not only have you made yourself look like an ass, and now your teammates have made you all look like an ass, but even after all this bullshit, you still lost. And I'm just saying, like, most people don't recognize losers. I hate to say that, but most people don't recognize losers. Okay? Nobody gives a fuck about who finished in second place. The reason people are watching women's professional basketball now, the reason why now people are tuning into the WNBA is because Caitlin Clark is just that fucking good. I don't know what else there is. I mean, if Angel Reese wants to build her own brand, okay, if Angel Reese would like to get in on the Caitlin Clark hype shit, she would be better off just shutting the fuck up and playing her game. Because you know what? When you run your mouth and you lose, all you do is create more animosity towards you. That's all you do. I mean, people love shit talk. Don't get me wrong. People love shit talk. But if you run your fucking mouth and then you fucking lose, people just think you're just a loudmouth who isn't good. Like, that's what it comes down to. People just think you're a fucking loudmouth who can never get it done. And that's not a recipe to get people to like you. So, I don't know, man. You know, I think this whole thing is kind of bullshit. I mean, even the LGBTQ community, like, the people that are, like, so pissed that she's straight and white and is, like, I'm gonna be honest, man. I understand it's Pride Month, and I'm cool with the LGBTQ people, okay? The L's, the G's, the B's, the Q's, but the T's make everything fucking hard. They make everything hard for people to just shut the fuck up and accept them because they have a problem with fucking everything, it seems. So, all I'm saying is, I understand Angel Reese wants her flowers, like, I'm going to call it what it is. I understand Angel Reese wants her flowers, but this is simply not the way to get it. This is not the way you get your flowers. By coming out and, you know, I don't know, coming off to everyone as a piece of shit, and then you come out and run your mouth and you get dropped the fuck off in the national championship game, 41-12, or at least in the final four, you get dropped the fuck off 41-12. Then the very first time you play her in the WNBA, you lose by 1 point after all this bullshit. Okay? After all this shit talk you and your teammates have done, you fucking lose by 1 point. So, I don't know, man. I'm working on 15 minutes here, but it's irritating to me, man. Like, it's irritating that it's like I feel like if I were in the WNBA, I'd be like, this girl has made my life a whole hell of a lot better. Because you know what? Now that Caitlin Clark has eyes on the WNBA, you think you're not gonna benefit? Like, that's what I don't understand about it. Like, contractually, like Kelsey Plum has been on podcasts saying that, oh, well, we want the same percentage of revenue that the NBA players get. We don't want the same amount of money, but we want the same revenue split. Even though your league hasn't turned a profit since inception. Caitlin Clark's only making $76,000 a year. She is making more money off the court. Like, she is making what? I think almost 100 times more money off the court than she is on the court. She's making more money doing commercials with Allstate and getting sneaker deals and all this other shit. She is making significantly more money off the court than she is on the court. And I think to myself, this is the girl who is supposed to make it so people watch your league, and if you want that same percentage of CBA revenue split, it would make a whole hell of a lot of sense to make sure that that girl stays healthy, to make sure that girl stays in the league. Because I'm going to tell you right now, okay, if something happens to Caitlin Clark where she has a career-ending injury, God forbid, right? If something happens to Caitlin Clark where she has a career-ending injury, you bitches are going to be stuck in purgatory for a whole hell of a lot longer than you were supposed to be. I don't understand it. Like, do they not comprehend that more people watching the WNBA means bigger contracts for you in the future? Especially for Angel Reese and Chennedy Carter. Like, I think to myself, right, like, I'm an IT guy and I think I make more money than Angel Reese. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was in her position, I'd be like, yo, like, let the bitch cook, you know? I would be out there letting her score 40. I'd be like, yo, just get more eyes on this fucking league, girl. Get me my fucking paycheck. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make $1 million a year. Like the number one pick in the WNBA draft is not even making $100,000 a year. And I get it. Everybody's giving their input on this, including the president of the United States, who 9 times out of 10 doesn't know where the fuck he is. But it's just the idea, like, everybody has a problem with this pay discrepancy, and the one girl who can fucking fix it, everybody's, like, not happy with. Everybody's not happy that it's a white girl who's gonna save this fucking league. So, I don't know, man. You know what? If I was in their position, though, I'd be like, bro, like $50,000, like I'm just let you know, $50,000 ain't making it really that like it ain't too fucking crazy in Chicago if you're only making like 50, 60 grand, all right? If you live in the city of Chicago. So, I don't know. That's just my opinion on it, though. Like, if you ever want to see $1 million a year in a WNBA contract, you best just shut the fuck up and let Caitlin Clark do what the fuck she's gonna do. I'm not saying, like, let her score 40. I'm not saying to come out and make her life easy, but this bullshit of hip checking her and, like, these hard fouls I've been seeing. She's only played 5 fucking games. These hard fouls and shit, like, it's gotta stop. Like, if you ever want to see $1 million a year ever in a paycheck ever, you can't afford to let this bitch get injured. That's all I'm saying. Pardon my French, but you can't afford to let Caitlin Clark get fucking injured, because you like it's like the one thing that you could do to financially fuck yourself, someone's going to do it. I don't know why, but to me it just seems like these women are gonna let their pride get in the way of them making a whole hell of a lot of money. Like, I see it coming. So it's gonna happen. Someone is gonna do, probably Chennedy Carter. But it's just the idea, somebody's gonna let their ego get in the way of the whole fucking WNBA making a whole hell of a lot of bread. So all I'm saying is that, like, I'm just gonna be honest. If Chennedy Carter were my teammate and she went out there and did that shit to Caitlin Clark, I would sit her ass down and be like, yo, you're fucking with my future paycheck. Like, you're trying to injure my future paycheck. Like, you should calm it as fuck down a little bit. That's all. So tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section down below. Like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.